Welcome back, Tribe. Have one here from Alienated TV, Women Hitting the Wall.
I hate it when I'm being sad that I don't have a boyfriend, and some guy that I don't know will be like, oh, I bet so many guys want to date you, but I have to get to know them. But once I get to know them, they usually find something that they don't like about me soon enough. So the conclusion is, I'm the problem.
True.
I've come to the realization that there's so many benefits of having me in your life, and that's why I made the decision last night to block all of the men that I've ever spoken to.
It's really messed up.
Guys, I figured out the reason why I'm single. Apparently you have to go outside and meet people. Like, you actually have to go outside and talk to them.
Bruh.
Yeah, it's gonna be a no from me.
What?
I'm so lonely. I'm so lonely. I've talked to my therapist about that already, but I'm screaming on the internet about that because, I just need everyone to know, I guess. I don't talk to anyone. Not via internet. Not in real life. I'm silent all the time.
That's okay. I don't listen to women.
Obviously, I have no boyfriend and I'm very sexually frustrated. I either need to travel or someone. I don't know. That's it. Thank you for listening to that. I'm very lonely. I'm 21. I have no friends. I have no partner. It's nice being alone. No, it's not.
Poor thing. Young women are, apparently, in a crisis of loneliness. However, it's not simply that they feel lonely, it's that they're less connected than they've ever been. They're in a crisis of atomization. Where loneliness is a state of mind, atomization speaks to the reality of their circumstances. Although loneliness can present itself at any time, its current excess is a byproduct of atomization.
Are you lonely?
Yeah.
How come?
Are you gonna make me emotional?
Paradox of choice.
Am I lonely?
Yeah, it's obvious.
I'd say I wish I had more friends. I don't have a lot of friends.
More close friends.
Girlfriends.
I feel like I just don't have a best friend that I can tell anything to, but I do have a cat, so.
I love cats.
Dr. Vivek Murthy, the U.S. Surgeon General, says loneliness is an epidemic, the focus of an 80-page advisory he is releasing today.
That's right.
We're used to thinking about smoking and obesity as clear public health concerns.
So you're saying loneliness is comparable to smoking in terms of the detriment to your health?
Yeah, in terms of the risk that it poses for premature death, yes.
The report finds that about half of U.S. adults disclosed experiencing measurable levels of loneliness.
Wow.
And it warns that the physical consequences of poor connection can be devastating.
Loneliness increases the risk for heart disease, stroke, and among older adults, dementia.
Sound familiar? Hello? This is him. Yes. No, not interested. Thank you. They're always trying to sell you on something.
In the last few decades, we've lived through a dramatic pace of change. We move more. We change jobs more often.
What does that say about women if they're feeling this loneliness epidemic? It's understandable when it's a men's issue because the nature of being a man, you have to go out there. You have to convince the world of your value. You have to convince a woman you're worthy for her to give you her time. You have to convince her to spread her legs for you, right? You have to, from the day you're born to the day you're dead, have to convince everybody of your utility and usefulness in society as a man. The fact that the other gender, this is how broken society and culture is today, the other gender that's used to choosing, that all they do is choose, that they sit there and pick from the winners at the finish line, they're feeling the loneliness epidemic too, in a very unique way. See, their paradox is of choice. They're crippled by the options. This is what happens when hypergamy, hypersexualization, hookup culture all collide in one go with all the options abundant from the digital age that we're living in. They go on the apps, they meet a guy that is 10 times above them in value. We're talking athlete, blue check mark, singer, something of fame, either locally, nationally, or internationally. They meet these men take them around, love bomb them, sleep with them, blow their socks off in the bedroom, blow their minds with all the money, the trips, all this stuff. It happens. It does happen. There's levels to this. Sure, the chick could be invited to the local lake house and she's a normal girl next door, but still had the experience of the millionaire at the lake house, or gets flown out of state, or gets flown out of the country. There's levels, but still the experience is not typical. Most women didn't get to experience that. Nowadays, it's very much so possible that when a woman meets a guy that's 10 levels above her, she'll make it completely easy for him and effortless to fly her out somewhere, to drive her over to their lake house, whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's not difficult when you're that guy. That experience taints them forever. It's like getting alpha widowed in a way. And that's probably what we're seeing here today. It's a variation of an alpha widow. All these women that are so unhappy and feel so isolated, it's not that they're actually lonely. It's not that they don't have options. They want to replicate the one guy that gave them every tingle they've ever gotten. They want the guy everyone else wants. That's the issue here. They're all competing for that one experience they've had, the alpha, the famous guy, the real bad boy. And that guy comes around once in a while when he's in your area and he feels like hitting you up, but he has too many women that's hitting him up. So you get used, quite literally pumped and dumped, and the guy probably doesn't even remember your name, to be completely honest. You are literally worthless to this guy. But her experience is deeply ingrained in her head, seared in there, that this is the guy I managed to catch once. I only deserve to catch these kinds of men. I will never lower the bar. This is how women operate. They constantly get a man that's slightly better than the next one, slightly better, they upgrade, but the baseline changes. This guy here, she just replaced, monkey branch 2, is the baseline. The next monkey branch is always higher. Baseline, baseline, baseline. Some of them swing way up and manage to snag blue check mark, dude. And they have no business getting with that guy. What do you think happens? How do you replicate blue check mark every day? You don't. That guy is rare. Every other guy she dates, whether he's a good man or not, it doesn't matter. If the guy has his life together and owns his car, owns his house, he still can't compete with that experience. And she has rose-tinted glasses. That will always be the perfect guy in her eyes. As time passes on and her memory fades, all she'll remember is the powerful tingles he gave her. The memories fade, and she begins to insert different versions in her mind of what happened and how perfect he is. You're never going to win. That's a woman's imagination plus the perfect guy colliding together to create the most ultimate experience a woman could have. And you, Cubicle Carl, is going to come along and think you're going to satisfy this woman. And this is what's happening in the world today, at least in the West.
We're living with technology that's profoundly changed how we interact and talk to each other.
True.
Across age groups, people are spending less time with each other in person than 2 decades ago. The advisory reported that this was most pronounced in young people aged 15 to 24.
Shocker, right?
Take a look at this clip from a 23-year-old.
No one prepares you for the loneliness that you feel in your 20s. I'm currently sitting alone in my apartment. It is 1 in the morning. I'm drinking water out of a wine glass because it's the only thing I have clean. And all of my friends are either with their boyfriends, with their husbands, with someone. And I feel like the odd one out because I don't have anyone. I have myself and my dog. And don't get me wrong, I love being alone, but I just feel like people at this age are really selfish and you lose a lot of friends in the chaos of being in different phases of life.
Oh my God, her friends found men and left her behind. This is how strong the sisterhood is. I want women, when they look at this, to completely understand what she's going through is exactly what you're going to go through with your besties when they get a man. Forget kids and all that. Just when they get a serious man that they love, you're done. You're getting the foot out the door. You think the sisterhood is going to last through marriage, a man, kids? You are out of your mind. These women are temporarily in your life. This lifelong bond you guys think you're going to have and going to power through your 30s and 40s, boss babes, strong and independent, don't need a man, out the window. The moment one of your little girlies gets a man, gets serious with them, and has kids, your whole friend group disappears. She's got real grown-up shit to deal with called a husband and children. Not sit around, drink a ton of wine from dirty-ass glass bottles with cats all around you talking about men ain't this and that and how strong and empowered we feel and how much we don't need them. Then goes and cries on TikTok. Bozos.
And it sucks. And honestly, I just feel forgotten about and pushed to the side.
Wait. It's important to recognize that for many people, relationships take priority over friendships as their focus of interest transforms. If you're not adaptable to status shifts, change, or loss, you're in for disappointment.
No!
Nothing stands still in any part of life, and if you're pinning your hopes on the idea that it will, you're going to struggle. Developing a mental adaptability to changing circumstances is crucial for all men and women who are looking to avoid feeling lonely or pushed to the side.
Damn right.
To my 25 to 29-year-olds, dating hits different. Now, I know they say that 30 is prime time for women, and I am not doubting that at all, but
No, sis, you got it wrong. 30 is the end of the road. The quality of men you get at 30 drops off dramatically. You don't get to pick and choose anymore. You get to select from the scraps, from those men that have no backbone, from the ones that are willing to like deal with a single mother, from the ones who don't care if you run through their wallet and step all over them. That's all you're going to have left, because any guy you want, the real man's man, where all the good men at, where's the men that got their shit together? All those guys are not looking at 30. Sorry, dude. You got to get over this. Mother Nature is cruel. Father Time is undefeated, and the wall will always win, and it's coming fast. 30 is not where you get to go prime time. 30 is when you look back on all the great time you had, and hopefully you got a ring out of it and some kids are already sprouting up. Because if you don't, it's about to get a whole lot difficult. You got money for in vitro, you got money for surrogates and all that. That's tens of thousands, 50, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Who's going to have to foot the bill? Your future man. Why would your man want to foot the bill, thousands, tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars just to ensure healthy pregnancy? Because you may enter that stage where barren womb takes over. That's a medical term, by the way. Look it up.
you do get a little anxious as you approach your dirty 30s. I'm not going to lie.
From a dating standpoint, 30 years old isn't prime time. It's bordering more on last chance saloon.
Such a donut.
Dating hits different and is a serious cause of anxiety, because single women in this age range are often on the cusp of being forever unmarried. A woman who's single, age 27 to 35, is in what Kevin Samuels referred to as the danger zone.
Danger zone!
According to Samuels, women in the danger zone need to prioritize looking for a husband, or they'll almost surely expire alone.
That's good advice.
So I went to the bar the other day with my girlfriend, and these 20 and 21-year-olds were hitting on us. And look, no shaming here, okay? If you're a cougar, nothing wrong with that. It's just not for me.
Boom. Roasted.
When they asked me for my Snapchat, that's when I knew that first, it's a wrap. This conversation is done. And second, we are different generations, baby. Keep it moving.
When a woman starts humble bragging about men hitting on her, it's often because the once abundant male attention has noticeably slowed down. A woman who brags or complains about getting hit on wins twice. She's received attention from the man who asked for her Snapchat, and she gets to be the center of attention again by making a TikTok about it.
I am not all trying to belittle young men. That's not the point of this video. It's just that dating really does hit different when you're between the age of 25 to 29, right before 30. It's a little awkward, right? Because half the people I went to high school with are married and having babies. And then the other half are women that are prioritizing their careers and being boss women. And then there's that one-off girl that no one really knows what she does, but she's doing it well.
Oh, really? If you don't know what that one-off girl does, how do you know she's doing it well? Pathetic. And being a boss woman should come with a warning label. By all means, pursue your career, but be ready for what it brings.
Depression and loneliness.
The half of her friends that are having babies are likely doing so because they understand that women are most fertile and have the highest chance of getting pregnant, aged between 19 and 26 years old.
Enjoy the latter half of your 20s, girl. Whether you're single, in a relationship, married, or divorced, this is the time where you can do whatever the hell you want, and you could tell Karen it's because you're in your 20s. Take it from me, I'm turning 27 really soon, and I am honestly loving this era of my life because I know I'm exactly where I need to be, and so are you.
Is that how you cope to yourself? Like you have to finish the whole video off with a little positive message? We know you're talking to yourself through your video. She's trying to convince herself through the video, talking to other women, of why it should be okay to not feel anxious that time is running out, that 30 is approaching and your options are dwindling. She's talking to herself. Listen, man, people tell on themselves when you listen to them. She is anxious. She's extremely nervous, and she doesn't know what to do about it. She probably tried to give guys a chance. She refuses to lower her standards, and she's going to keep creeping up to that age range. And this is all she could talk about: how old I am, how awesome my life is, how I don't need to worry about anything. What does that sound like to you? That's like somebody trying to reassure themselves of the impending doom they're about to face.
Welcome to the
danger zone.
There is a major shift that happens in your late 20s, specifically around dating. You wake up one morning and you're no longer attracted to fancy cars or looking for his height or his income. You just want to know that he has a Costco card.
Sexting in your late 20s is just different. You know what I mean? Like, I was talking to this guy and he's like, ooh, are you horny, baby? It's like, yeah, Brian, I'm horny. Horny for stability. Now pump a white picket fence and family into me already. Jesus.
Between 29 and 31 years old, women sometimes enter the epiphany phase where they decide to try and settle down.
Kabam!
They're beginning to realize that younger and more desirable women will always exist, causing them to question their own sexual market value. Recognizing their difficulty in competing with younger women and the prospect of being lonely, they'll settle for a man with a Costco card, stability, and a white picket fence.
By the way, that's a real danger of settling down with a Western woman that's in her 30s. That settling thing that they bring up all the time, that we understand happens. We understand that she went into her powerful 20s, absolutely getting ran through by high quality men, high status men. And she couldn't lock a single one down. She thought the party and the fun never ends, and it does end. For you as an average Joe to get a woman in her 30s because she seems nice, because she seems sweet, because, hey, this one gave you attention, understand that you're a mark. This is the brutal truth. You are a target. This happens to men especially, and this is probably where the vast majority of the divorce statistics, I bet you, it's these kinds of relationships where these men with very little experience with women get targeted by 30-plus-year-olds who are looking for something different, which sounds incredible to your unexperienced eyes and ears. Then you give this woman a shot. Then you quickly fall in love because, again, you don't have experience with women. You don't know what to look for. You don't know what you want. And you get attracted to the first thing that breathes in your direction. Women know this. So this is why they settle with the nice guy, the beta bob, with the little simpy dude with no backbone, because that's the guy that responds. He's so thirsty. He's so depraved of attention. He responds to these kinds of women. Most high-value men completely disregard them. They become the invisibles. A guy will look at an older woman and she's invisible to him. He may stare at her up and down real quick and be like, she did well for her age. She kept up. Or she was probably super hot in her 20s. But that guy doesn't consider her something serious long-term. At best, it's a lay here and there, a pump and dump. This is what women don't understand. This is the damage from dating these kinds of men. And now you're in your 30s and you have to panic settle. Panic settle for a man. And there's always going to be a simpy McSimp ready to take the reins and bust open his wallet and take care of these women. So essentially, they will get bailed out of their bad decisions. But ultimately, that's a prison within itself because they'll never be happy. Those aren't real men in her eyes. That guy can't make her feel like those other dudes did in her 20s. He doesn't measure up in bed. His wallet isn't even the deepest. He doesn't got private jets, boats, yachts, planes, fast cars. He's just a normal dude. He's cubicle Carl. What's Cubicle Carl gonna offer her? Stability? She wishes she got stability from Big Dick Dingus III. But that guy is busy laying pipe to thousands of women probably, because he's in the top percentile. And she was just one of many, another notch on the belt. But it's fine, dude. When she wakes up in the middle of the night, when she goes to excuse herself, when she needs to take a break from you, when she gives you the cold shoulder, just know that some memory triggered in her mind of that dude and what he did with her and what she felt and experienced in the moment. And then she's got to look at you and go, I can't believe this is what I had to end up with. Imagine you go to a candy store and you're eating all the best Belgian and Swiss chocolates. And then one day you wake up, you go to the candy store, and the only thing they got in stock is Kit Kats and Hershey's, some straight dog shit. And you got to pick from that now? That's all you have to choose from, Kit Kats and Hershey's. And you go, well, at least it's stocked full. There's always going to be Kit Kats and Hershey's here, I guess. I mean, yeah, that milk chocolate's fake as shit. Yeah, it's full of chemicals. Yeah, it tastes like cardboard, I guess. Can't have Swiss chocolate no more. It's out of stock. That's what's happening. And that's the danger. Don't ever be the Kit Kat in her eyes. Don't settle. Ever. You got to get a woman in her prime. Period. Or your relationship is at a massive risk for failure.
Getting on here for all the girlies who are in their 30s. I'm 33, turning 34 next month. I'm just fucking done dating. Like, excuse my language, but I'm done. Like, For a while there, I was on a kick for the younger guys because that was all that was hollering at me, because I must say, I think I look pretty good for being 33.
Women scarcely date younger men until they hit the wall. Women are attracted to men with looks, money, and status, which typically translates to older men. If they've put in the commitment, 30 to 35-year-old men are the most confident, attractive, and successful that they've ever been. As such, they're more desirable to women than ever. Many men this age choose to date younger women, since they generally find women between the ages of 21 to 24 the most attractive. This leaves post-wall women with fewer good romantic options.
Just a quick question to anyone who's over 30. What are we supposed to be doing? Because I'm lost.
Many women in this situation experiment with younger men, who are also struggling to date well, because women their age prefer older men. When a post-wall woman goes on a kick for younger men, it's usually because she's recognized that higher mileage equals lower value.
So I was like, okay, I'm done with the young ones. Like, they're too immature. Like, I'm looking for something more serious in life. They're not doing it for me. Cool, whatever.
Is it because the young ones aren't doing it for her? Or because it is them that are not taking her seriously?
I have no idea.
Let's look at her other TikToks for more of an idea.
Waking these knees up out of winter hibernation for the summer streets. Sunday, 1:30 a.m., presumably on the summer streets.
That's nasty.
Not even younger men want a lady who practices her dance moves so that her knees are ready for the summer streets.
I reunite with an ex that I was with when I was 22, and this was like always the one who got away from me.
An alpha widow is a term used to describe a woman who holds attachment and is still fixated on the man who had the most impact in her life.
He is 3 years older than me, going to be 37 in January. This man is emotionally unavailable. So they're too immature in their 20s, and then they're possibly still emotionally unavailable in their 30s. I understand why my mom is 60 years old and still single.
You see? Learned it from her mama. I told you guys. You need to get with women who come from healthy households. That's the damage, the generational trauma being passed down to her. The one that got away is what I told you. You get a woman in the 33-year age range. All of them have one that got away. That's the thing. And they'll never be satisfied with cubicle Carl. Telling you. And now after she's had her fun getting wrecked by those young bulls in their 20s, she wants something serious. Because clearly those guys aren't going to take her seriously. She's too old. She's old, bro. She's just an easy lay. She's a, quote, cougar in their eyes. So now you want to get men in their 35s and up. You know, he has to be a few years older than you. And, oh, look at that. Would you look at that? The alpha from your past life came through. And he's emotionally unavailable, you say? I wonder how you found that out. Did you hang out, go to dinner, and then get absolutely pumped and dumped? And then say, so like, what's your plans for the future? And he was like, nothing, I'm chilling. I got a lot of other women lined up. Probably didn't tell you that up front, but he said, nothing, we're just reigniting a fling we had. It's a good time. Didn't you have a good time? And she goes, yeah, it was good, but I think I'm looking for something serious. And he goes, oh, yeah, totally understand. That's just not me right now at my point of life. The truth is, let me translate that manese for you women. I am definitely emotionally open to marriage and a woman. I just haven't found the right one yet. You are a fun one I twirled around when we were younger. And as soon as I came back in your life, you let me back in. So if you're available whenever I want you, clearly you're available to some other men just like me. So I have no interest in pursuing something long-term with you. By the way, you're 34. Do you know I'm still dating women that are 21, 22, 23, just like 10 years ago? Did you know that? Oh yeah, I didn't want to tell you because it would make you feel insecure. And I just got my layup and I'm good. Oh, see you next time I'm back in town. Call me, yeah? That's just how it is.
And just said, forget it. Because that's what it's about to be.
Fact. What's bred in the bone will come out in the flesh. And desirable men are hard to find because they're likely not looking for her. According to this commentator, many women in a similar situation will look for a bailout, in the mild-mannered good man that she never looked twice at when she was in her prime. It's their way of finally doing the right thing. The nice guy is her eject button off of the dating carousel and into a comfortable life as a suburban housewife. Without an escape plan, she might end up like this lady.
I'm not trying to be one of those melodramatic girls who gets on TikTok and's crying. I just happen to be a crier, sorry. I'm so goddamn tired of being the fifth wheel, or the third wheel. And I got into it with my friend today. And she was like, well, it's a lose-lose. Either they don't invite you, and then you're hurt because you're left out, or invite you, and you're the third or the fifth wheel. I'm just over it. I'm exhausted by it. I'm fucking tired of it. I'm tired of feeling like the loser who doesn't have someone. I'm tired of feeling like the person who doesn't know how to grow up and move on with their life.
Sounds reasonable.
If a man acted like this, society would deem him a man-child.
That's interesting.
Because the so-called man-child is typically described as someone who's emotionally immature, often refusing to own up to his responsibilities, and tends to avoid many of the milestones of adulthood.
Sis, do not let that dude save you for later. You are not leftovers. You are not an option. You are not the type of woman to get ghosted, then picked back up when he's drunk or bored or horny or lonely, or when that side thing falls through.
That escalated quickly.
Make no mistake, he was convinced he could get better, and he was convinced he can come back and reclaim you when he wanted. While you're busy building him up for the next woman, he is tearing you down for the next man. Know your worth.
This might be regarded as the post-wall rage of a leftover woman. I wonder if she's aware of this information here.
Loneliness increases the risk for heart disease, stroke, and among older adults, dementia.
And a woman not knowing her true worth in the dating market is one of the very things that has put her in the position of being unmarried and single in the first.
You know, it's interesting. Her advice is actually spot on. If you're a 19-year-old woman, 20, 21, if you're in your peak, you're in your prime, and someone gave you that advice, do not let men waste your time. If he's not serious about you with a ring, anything like that, he's not deserving of your body. If you took that advice and gave it to young women, they would absolutely win. But this is the advice that they give the opposite to old women. That's the complete wrong advice to an older woman. An older woman needs to take her long list of shit she looks for in a man and shorten it to about one or two things. He's breathing, he has a stable income, and he's not addicted to drugs. That's pretty much all you could ask for at that age. Lower your standards and you won't be alone. But you don't want to lower your standards, so you're going to buy a cat instead. Got it.
First place. Here's a good reality check.
If you say things like, all men are trash, or I only attract boys, or I don't know why he continues to come back to me, then girlfriend, you got to stop right there. No, stop right there. Listen, men are not the problem here. You are. And I come from a place of love and empathy and busted eyeliner, but I also come from a place of reality, and this is what's happening. It's not like these men are just busting down your door and you're trying to shut it. No, you're like, oh yeah, door's wide open. In fact, here I am with a cup of sugar. This is what's happening. You're picking losers and boys and then complaining about it. No! You can't continue to pick these men, enable the behavior you don't want to see, and then complain and bitch about it. If you don't want to see this behavior, stop tolerating it. Walk away. Start picking men who are high value. Yeah, they're out there. But are you interested in them, or are you interested in the drama?
The shit's chess, it ain't checkers.
If commitment can't be captured from men because she now lacks SMV, the post-wall woman will often adopt an effeminist approach. Doing so allows her to change the rules of the game, to edit reality to be more in her favor.
Subvert the patriarchy.
Here's an example of a younger woman who's noticed that she might have been lied to.
I just came to the realization why I'm single.
Tight.
Every guy that I'm like, oh yeah, he's attractive, I see their wives and they just look like so you know, not like this.
Unfortunately, you're not very bright.
Dude, I look crazy. That's why guys don't want to wife me up. And I just come to this realization today. I thought these men wanted big, strong, tough girls.
Are you serious?
I feel like all of them are super girly, and all these guys are like, yeah, that's my girl. That's just housewife stuff. And I'm over here
I own my own business. I'm covered in tattoos. I'm a little spazzy, but that's okay. We embrace it.
No, we don't.
But yeah, I don't think any guy's gonna wife me up because I can't take me seriously. And I just realized that.
A simple way for women to improve their relationship desirability is to lose all traces of masculinity from their appearance.
You better check yourself.
Look, at least that one is self-aware enough, so that's bonus points. Most women are not going to have that level of introspection and just keep blaming men. Is it a positive she has her own business? Personally, I would say so. If you work for yourself, that takes a level of skill, a level of risk-taking, and a level of competence that's very good for a relationship material. This person can be coached. This person knows how to work, can be a team player. That's very good. The fact that she's fit, also very good. The negatives is that I'm spazzy and I'm covered in tattoos. So that's risky behavior in the negative aspect. Tattoos are negative risk factors. Spazzy behavior, negative risk factors. If she didn't have those, if she was just a regular muscle mommy that owned her own business and kept to herself, guys wouldn't even have a problem with that. It's the tattoos and the attitude, because we don't know what spazzy means. That's her sugarcoating what her level of crazy is and what that manifests itself in a relationship. So I'm assuming because she can't hold a man down, it's enough that it sabotages her relationships with men. Or she completely scares them off from even going past a couple of dates or friends with benefits stage because she currently had no man. So the dates are failing. It's a fail for a woman to go on multiple dates and not meet a guy that you're truly interested in and it evolve into a relationship quickly. That's literally you failing to pick. That's you literally picking the worst men, the ones that don't match you at all, to go on dates with. So now you're making yourself available to the men you otherwise shouldn't be. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Before you wreck yourself.
The leftover woman will often try to redefine things to say that modern women with no traditional wifely qualities are attractive. Older, masculine, promiscuous women are who men should marry instead of virtuous, feminine women who prioritize building a family.
Let's create an alternate reality where up is down, left
This is already a no, but let's let it play. Maybe she's making fun of it.
is right and black is white. Great idea. But how do we get people on board with this? Name calling. Okay. Public shaming. Yeah. Gaslighting and manipulation. Nice. Oh, we teach our alternate reality in schools, put it on TV, and force it onto society. Now we're talking. And we scream really, really loud anytime something doesn't go our way. Right on. But what if that doesn't work? We censor them.
Bingo.
The truth about woke feminism is that it creates more problems than it solves. If up is down and left is right, then we're living an illusion that requires the blind compliance of both men and women to play along with in order to succeed. Perhaps this is why feminism tries to conceal the true realities of the dating marketplace, promoting the view that female value is permanent, always high, with no need for a woman to ever provide any sort of value proposition.
As we age.
Isn't that from 1984? The final demand of the party is to not believe your own eyes.
Doesn't matter how much money we accumulate, our degrees or professional accolades. The reality is that our marriage and partnership market value is depreciating with every passing year. No matter how good we look, no matter how fit we are, men are still seeing primarily our presumed dwindling fertility as a knock against us.
Quite possibly.
And by the time you reach my age, 40, you will be faced with different choices relating to life partnership and motherhood. Now, I'm not saying that delaying marriage or motherhood is a bad option, but it's one that comes with its own consequences. And our women deserve to know on the front end of their decision making instead of on the back half.
I've featured this lady in previous videos because she was preaching from the effeminist playbook without applying any critical thought to what she was saying. However, she has to be given credit here because she's finally realized that women run into trouble when they're operating under a set of beliefs that don't coincide with reality. But she needs to watch out. The further a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it.
Look, man, I do what I can do to help y'all. But the game is out there, and it's either play or get played.
Some of the comments on this one. What strong and independent really means is bitter, argumentative, and disagreeable. I'm so lonely, yet she sits in a room recording herself and refuses to talk to real people in real time. Social media is a trap and an oxymoron. Interesting how the one single woman in a group thinks that all the married or working women are selfish because they're too busy and have grown up and are not still trying to act like a teenager. Proves my theory that men mellow as they get older and age gracefully, and women just get old and never mature. Oh my. Modern women will keep the pharmaceutical companies wealthy. Indeed. Indeed.